observations are. It's not necessarily an observation. It's kind of obvious, but I was trying to understand why it gets to a point when I'm doing the alternate tracks, um, that I start struggling, and I don't think necessarily again it's just the movement. And then I started breaking down the movement. I said, okay, so how does it look like just on the left hand, right? And actually, it's just a swing pattern, isn't it? It's just that's pretty much what the drag is, isn't it? So which kind of explains. So ultimately this, and then dropping the two notes. So which makes sense because that makes it easier for me to try to isolate where the problem is. And I think once again, it's just my wrist is probably not at the same place that my right hand is, and that's kind of what probably is just dragging the whole thing. But it's kind of like this. When I'm doing this, and now I want to do the two notes. Surely it's bending the wrist, but there's also a bit of a release going on, really. To kind of if I relax this part more, it's easier to do those two notes. Sorry. It kind of gets to a point that I can't do it faster. That's why it gets to a point when I'm doing the alternate drags that it starts getting muddy. And that is, and I do know why it is, because I end up on the doubles that I have to give, when I'm doing it faster, I start pressing the doubles instead of just releasing and allowing the doubles to happen naturally. I start pressing the doubles. See? Which is obviously wrong, and it's never going to get me to where I want to. But those are just my observations.
Well, that's a good observation, because your left hand looks better, right? Your left hand that was really giving you problems. If one didn't know, they'd think that perhaps you were a left-handed player and that you played simple time with your left hand, which a lot of guys do. I mean, Billy Cobham plays.
Yeah, that's Billy Cobham.
He's set up for that, and that's one of the things that Murray would talk about. He would say, well, the match grip, with these big drum setups that they're playing, that the young kids are playing with, it's easier to get to certain sound sources, which is probably true. So, but you're breaking it down. You're actually spending the time to think about what it is that you're doing. So that's a good thing, right? I think your left was better than your right from what you just showed me. Right?
It's not. Stop it.
So yeah, we're looking for I just want to be careful about, because you're right. There is a squeeze and release that is occurring. See, but if I were to just pick up sticks and put myself into position, right? Really, as I go up, because I haven't played yet, I don't really feel a squeeze and release. And
for the doubles. I mean, for the doubles.
Well, but right, I'm moving around a position, right? And I'm going to make that throw. Now that I've made a throw, I can feel the closure of the hand, and so now there does need to be a release. And Richard Wilson would talk about that. He'd say, You only release what you squeeze, right? Which is interesting as well. I don't know if you'd considered that. So yeah, we're trying to get, and it is a really neat way to play cymbal time, by the way, because you're getting the built-in backbeat, right? The thing that would be played on the hi-hat. You can start to really bring it up, and you develop that kind of control. And you're right, you don't want to squash anything. Well, let's take a look at it. Go ahead and put the metronome. Where'd you get it up to?
So no, really. I mean, you told me 60, but that didn't feel very challenging.
That's what I'm asking. Where did you get it to that felt playable?
Can't remember really, to be honest. Maybe, let's try 80. Maybe more. Stretch under.
No, stay there. Stay there. Stay there. There's no need to go any faster because there's some things that I want to talk to you about. I was thinking about ways, as mentioned earlier, to help students feel some of these things. I came up with an idea. You probably need an engineer to help build it. Someone understood how to put something like that together. And then we'll go on Shark Tank, right? I'm sure they'll be dying to help out. All those drummers that would just love to have help with their technique. Yeah, right. Maybe. But if Dick Wilson would sometimes actually physically grab the stick and take you up. He said, no, let's watch. Just go on up. Okay? Mm-hmm. 3-finger grip. Finger grip. And so he would take you up. So you're gonna see, yeah, what happens when that hits? See? To me, that's what it begins to feel like. When I get this thing happening, it feels like the sticks are almost locked in. And that's hence perhaps where this idea of you're following the stick, not the other way around. That way of looking at it. So if you were to just do this, how would a human body follow that stick in the most natural way? Would it go like this? Well,
not really.
It was really locked in, and you tried to do molar wouldn't really work, would it? Because molar wants to do this. So molar isn't going to be compatible with this. There, you see? That's compatible. See, it will take you in that direction. I think that's why Dick Wilson would do it. Relax your 4th and 5th. See, now you're in a really nice position. Now, what would happen on the way down? Okay, that's really good. I don't think you've really honestly gone into that position to this point during this lesson. A really good position, okay? Shoulders relaxed, right? Angle of the stick has changed. Now, if we were to come down and we could manipulate the stick, let's see. So it would have to go something like this. It's like you'd have to take you'd have to take film footage and slow it down and create some kind of template, you know, that would accurately mimic what would happen. Let's see. See, this is locked in. Now then it's going to do that. So you're getting something like this. Watch.
Like if you just pull the stick like this, you know, notice that this goes immediately smooth.
Yeah, does it get? See, it's you're putting it in a position that we'd have to talk to the engineer and say, no, that's not quite it. That's some other technique. It doesn't go like this. For this kind of, if I come up this high, and then I go to make a throw, it does this. Something like that. Yeah, but you see, you keep wanting to go to here. See, this is interesting, isn't it? Now, somehow that's in your head. I see it like this. This really helped you come up. And then if you were to come down, it would do this. See, it stays straight, and it does that. It does something like that.
Kind of like a wave.
Like that. So how would the body work in tandem with that motion? How would that work? If you did this and that, it would go like this and that. More like that. See? And you'll notice that once you get to here, you can accommodate this motion of the stick by not doing very much at all. It's as if you're just letting the whole thing collapse. Go ahead and try it. Just get to here and just let it collapse. There. See? Feel the energy run out to the tip? That's the torque that Wilson would talk about. There, like that. Not bad. Okay? Now all you want to do is you want to play two notes. See, because you're leaving the bead down on the way up, you're so close to the surface, as Murray would say, that you almost can't help but make a note. Or in this case, note. See? So you know you've got this very narrow fulcrum, 3-finger grip. So you don't have to think too much, Raf, about the squeezing and releasing thing got in my way because, and Dick would talk about squeeze and release all the time in all of his scripts. He would indicate squeeze and release. Except on this script. Thanks a lot, Rich. Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. But typically, SQ, RE, squeeze and release. And that led me to making too big a deal out of squeeze and release. I'm going to squeeze, and then I'm going to release. And I exaggerated the whole thing so that ultimately it became something other than what it really was or was supposed to be. Okay? So that's why it's something that happens very naturally. You noticed it. I didn't mention that at the last. I haven't mentioned the squeeze and release with regards to playing. Have I? I don't think so.
No, I don't think you have.
Right. We've talked a little bit about it, but you're right. There is something that happens, but really, I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking about the purity of this motion. No, it's got to come up a little more. Remember how it felt when you actually took the stick and went up like this, and then this did this, right? So you've got this narrow fulcrum, right? So we have like this first-class lever that the stick can rock over, and all we have to do is recognize this motion for what it is and come in contact with that surface. We were already leaving the bead down. Now we're just going to touch And now going in the other direction. So we get that. Eventually, we'll get into stuff like this, right? 2 up and 2 down, where we can start moving and playing multiple notes. That's where it's going. Okay, so go ahead and think of it that way. See, I've been thinking about this narrow fulcrum, making this motion, and letting whatever happens happen. I don't have the squeeze and release is built in because the hand does this, right? It does that and that. It's going to do that anyway. There. Now let that collapse. Let it collapse. Let it collapse. There. 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 Now, I'm sure you are feeling something, right? There's some kind of reaction when the stick lands for your downstroke, right? And you're really going to feel it rocking over the fulcrum as you turn towards the surface to make your upstroke for 2 notes. Feel it. Feel that. Yeah, see it? Rock through that fulcrum. There it is. And then you go the other way and let it all collapse. There's not much to do. There. Come on, make sure you get up. Now you got to get up to that position that you recognize. There, do that in the other hand. Just remind yourself of that position you're trying to get to, because I don't want you floating through your uppermost position and not ever really getting to it. Okay, we really have to get to here. It's got to get to here. And then it collapses. There. Now put them together. Put the metronome back on at 60. See if you can put them together. Keeping all that in mind. Yeah, it's better. So you were at 60. You're at 60 right there, huh? So yeah. So that's what is that? That's it's twice as fast. See how nothing really changes? Look. See, but now yours isn't doing that now. See, I'm getting this, and you're not. You were at the other speed. Nope, you lost it. Okay, you lost it. So we'll slow it down. But now that you know the difference, you'll be able to recapture it. It went from to, as it sped up, the arms lost their motion. Whatever happened, it became more like this. But that's not what it is. There it is. Okay, we want this. So put the metronome on, move it up to 80, and let's see if you can maintain that motion. There you go. That's better. All right. Now what's also happening, and I didn't even mention it, when you first demonstrated, it's like cymbal time. If I recall, you were leaving the bead down and turning from parallel to come up, right? Look, it's like cymbal time. And then when you went to play, it turned into something like, or this and then that. So you're turning to the C. It wasn't consistent. What you just did that now is you were playing from essentially most of the time playing from parallel, so that you get a consistency. I just want to turn from parallel and see. Once we know we need to get to here, it's really all we're doing. We're just doing this, and we happen to get two notes. No. It's like this. There you go. See, you're actually, watch, you're turning your wrist.
Yeah, I understand.
Try it with me. Turn your wrist, which is kind of like this somehow. There you go. Yeah, like that. There, more like that.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it has gotten better. Now, go ahead and put it up to, where were we just now?
80.
Okay, so now you're at 80. Go ahead and put it up to 100. Let's see what it looks like. Remember, that's all you do is stop and then turn to the surface. Turn to the first. That's the reason, by the way, it looks pretty good. That may be one of the reasons why it starts to get squashed. You know, maybe you're picking it up and pushing it down. All we want to do is just...
Yeah, 100%.
Those little things that they all conspire, they add up to end up spoiling the technique in some way, so that you end up going, what's going on, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so 100 looks okay. Go ahead and put it up to 112. Wait. Your right arm is sticking out already. It's out. Why? Yeah, come on. You got to set up properly to ever have a chance, right? Okay, yeah, it just comes up and the arms should be just hanging by the side. Your left elbow is closer to your side than your right, but can you come up any higher? Up any higher? Look. Well, what happens is you can play it at a certain volume, meaning you're coming up to a certain height, and then because, for whatever reason, lack of total familiarity with the motion and how it feels, it breaks down when I ask you to come up higher. Why? Look, and by the way, It is much better, right?
I know. I mean, it definitely feels different for sure.
It's in the right, now it's in the right direction. I'm actually seeing an up and a downstroke. However, let's just take one quick look and see if we can discover what is going on if we want to come up higher. Why? Why can't we come up higher? Why can't we come up higher? Why can't we come up higher? Listen. Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Moving air. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, it's interesting that you can hear that. It's good. Dick would say, you hear it. Whoosh. Right? Are you feeling that? Can you do that? Go ahead and put the stick next to your body so you don't hurt yourself. I don't want you banging into your leg or something. Your knee. Right? Okay, go ahead. See if you can just see if you can if you can get that stick to whoosh. Not quite. Almost. See, it's not coming down quite right.
Hear it at least.
Almost. There you go. That was a good one. See, it really feels like, wah, which is why Richard Wilson would say that for that reason that you wouldn't throw a hand grenade. Because he'd say you'll pull your arm out of your socket. So what do? How would he say it? It's really you're pushing it. Is that how he'd say it? Right? It's not a throw. It's different, isn't it? They take that grenade. If you take something really heavy, you'll find that you'll just want to push it.
Yeah, otherwise the momentum behind, just behind you is going to be so much, and then you're going to struggle to just do this.
All that weight, you see, could pull your arm out of your socket, right? However, this is only a drumstick, so we're not going to pull our arm out of our sockets. We can throw it. Okay, right? All right. So you see, we get to here, and I'm going to follow it up even more. Yeah. Look, well, am I up here? Now I'm going to let all of this collapse. Right? I'm just going to let that collapse. Come on up. Yeah. So I've really left the bead down, haven't I? Look. I'm like, almost. Now what we don't want to do is come up like this. Not that. It's trying to keep the top of the hand, back of the hand, facing forward, not sideways. Right?
Okay.
It goes up. It goes up straight. Straight. There. Now, you've got all that power to unwind, and you don't have to do much of anything. Right. In fact, if you don't cock your wrist, you'll still get some kind of throw. Watch. I still get it. Bead barely comes up.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's the momentum of the arm.
Try it with me. Try feeling this. Now, I'm actually touching my surface with my bead to really, get the point across. Come on. Stop clutching with your back fingers. You've let go up front. So this stick is going to go flying off somewhere because you don't really have a grip. The other problem. Okay, now all I'm going to do is just let this collapse. Oh, no. If I really let it collapse, watch. I'm really just going to let it do nothing. The bead barely comes up. No, hold the bead away. See if you can feel this. There you go. Just let it fall. Almost. Too much. You did something. Didn't. There. That was a good one. You still get some kind of little.
Absolutely.
Little whipping motion. Now, what if we cock our wrist? What if we just cock our wrist and then you get whomp. God, stop pulling it up. Hold on with the grip up front. It doesn't feel like it. There you go. Now cock your wrist and let the whole thing collapse. Boom. Elbow came right back to your side. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on the alternating drag, and we're going to work on it with two different throws, up to 112, right? Because when you tried to mimic me, I think I was at 60. I doubled 60 at 120. Everything went out the window, and you lost all of this beautiful motion. Okay, now you've got it back, and you're up to 112. Now, so that we'll continue to move on, because I want to get something else done here. But you're also going to incorporate. You just proved you can do it.
I know, you're right.
You might have to slow it down a little bit. I'm going to leave that to you, to be honest with yourself, right? So that you have the time to really experience this full motion. And if you need to slow it down so that you can really concentrate on that, right? But we're going up to 112. Okay. Grip up front. Grip up front. That's the other thing.
It's interesting because when we got to this point, it becomes a 2-point grip again, right? Because I mean, the stick is not even touching the third finger at all at this stage, right?
The which finger? The fourth? The third?
Well, the third one. So it's barely even touching the stick at this stage.
We need to define our definitions, or define our terms. When you so, because remember, Murray would say first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'd call them each a finger. I'm doing thumb and first finger, then you have the middle finger, then you have your ring finger, fourth, and your fifth.
I'm saying when you get really to this point,
it
almost feels that the stick lets go of the third finger, of the middle finger.
No.
Oh, okay.
Your grip. Maintain this 3-finger grip. There, now cock. Cock your wrist. Boom.
Okay, cool. Let's move on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so where the alternating drag leads is to, can lead, in this case is leading to the single Rademacher, which we worked with. How's that?
Yeah. You asked me to change the accents.
Yeah.
One.
We're having fun with that. But right now, what I don't want, I want to keep the purity of what you just experienced intact, and then apply it to this stroke. So
yeah.
So what we've got is there it is again. So what is the difference between what we just did and the single Rademacher? We're doing the Richard Martinez assessment with regards to how the heck we're going to play this stroke using the Wilson Spivak technique. So you got to understand what it is you're going to do before you try to do it.
Yeah. So the doubles, it's different because it's not an upstroke.
Okay, very good.
The upstroke is the next note, right?
The next note or the next?
The next note. The next note from whatever hand you're leading. So.
Okay. There you go. There it is. There it is. We got this happening again, don't we? But now instead of playing 2 notes, it's even easier. You're only playing 1 note. You really got to get to this position though, so that we really get this feeling. I want you to feel an actual motion. I know we can make the motion really small. Right now, I want you to prove to yourself that you actually get to here. Right? I mean, because eventually we might want to We don't know what we're going to do quite yet. Let's see where you are. That was a better one. So you really wanted to go straight up, right? The top of the hand is facing the ceiling, and then it points towards whatever pretty lady is sitting in the front row in the audience. Right? It's like, here it is. Here I am. No, come on. Really got to get to this point where it feels like you've got something to I want to use the word release, but see, look, watch. It does feel like there's something. I would be really careful. Now I'm using squeeze. It becomes some kind of equivocation. I'm using the word release or in another way. I want to be careful, but it does feel as though I have to get to here so that I have something to allow to collapse. Release. There, now that can be released. Built up all this energy. There. It really feels like you're underneath the thing. You can imagine it feeling like you're here. You've got to here. Now you're underneath it. And that would make sense, wouldn't it? Because don't muscles only pull? You're pulling when you're cocking your wrist, right? Which means the muscles on top are pulling. Oh, excuse me. You're pronating, turning, which means the muscles underneath are pulling. Now you're set up of all this weight ready to utilize. Okay, to take advantage of. And now the muscles that have pulled underneath are no longer going to pull. Now the muscles on top are going to cock the wrist. But ultimately, as we head towards the surface, the muscles underneath again pull. And the whole thing catches up with itself and ends up down at the surface for your blow. Murray would say. There's right? There. You've got to get to that. There. See, it feels slower, doesn't it? You make these motions really properly, it has a sense of slowing everything down. Yeah. There. Put the metronome on. Let's hear it at, say, put it on at 48. It really gets you right to come up. It set up that release. There. You don't have to rush it down. There. So you don't have to rush it. Once you're in that position and you've all this weight, you don't have to rush it. No, you rushed it. With all this weight, you don't have to go, I'm gonna really make it happen with my wrist. It's all working in tandem. Everything is countervailing until the very last minute. So you don't want to rush. You don't want to blow. The natural motion that occurs, which is right. Everything is countervailing. Everything is countervailing, isn't it? You're turning towards the surface, but the arm is going up. Now you're turning the wrist towards the surface and the arm is going down. And at the very last minute, and only at the very last minute, everything patches up. So if you rush it, you'll muck up the coordination of that process. There. See, you don't have to rush to feel the energy run out to the bead, do you? You feel a bunch of energy running out to the bead. You have all the weight of your arm assemblage. You have your sound chamber. Thank you, Freddie Gruber. You got the sound chamber. All of that. The weight of the stick. Okay, so where are you now? I don't hear a metronome.
48.
Now, now go ahead and put it up to 60. Let's see what that looks and sounds like. Okay, stop playing for just a sec. I mean, typically, wouldn't this be played to like a dotted quarter? Ra-ba-da-da, ra-ba-da-da, ra. So that was my fault.
Yeah, can be.
I should have stopped you. I mean, we can do it in either way, but let's decide clearly about how we're going to have you play this. Ra-ba-da-ba, ra-ba-da-da, ra-da-da-da, ra-da-da-da. Okay? Dotted quarter, we're in 6/8. Metronome is at, go ahead and put it at 48. Keep it at 48. See, what shouldn't happen is just because it's a little faster doesn't mean that I no longer have my motion. I'm bringing it up to really show it to you. See how high I can raise? Look how nice and relaxed and loose it is. Go ahead. Put it down to 40. See, because what you're doing now, Raph, now you're just doing something like this. You're not going. See? Look how nice. Look, this is my left hand. I don't play this way. Okay, so this stroke is tricky because we're even though the single stroke is just one note for the up instead of two, you've got all these other notes that we have to fit in, figure out how to play. See? So Murray is challenging us. Slow it down to 40. Or maybe we'll put the metronome back to a quarter note. Go for it. Three-finger, narrow, fulcrumed grip. You didn't raise. See, you've lost your raise. What happened? What happened to this? Air! You see, this is what the strokes do, Ralph. They teach us. You made that motion before in a vacuum, and then it disappeared.
I don't know why. It's, yeah.
Because you didn't have Kevin saying, don't let it disappear. And when Kevin said, don't let it disappear, it came right back. Much better. There. 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 That's what we want to lock in. Okay? So where are you? Are you at 40 there, playing it correctly?
I was without metronome.
Okay, how are you? If you want to play to a quarter note, that's fine. If you want to slow this down, I like that. That's really mature to just say, wait a minute, I really want to just feel
Oh,
this.
yeah, sorry.
So go ahead and play it as a quarter note.
It's fine. How is it? What in?
You're at we're at 40, right?
Yeah.
Da da da, ra da da da, ra da da da, ra da da da.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought.
Big motions. Come on, give me that motion. Come on, the wrist has to break. You have to end up here. There, see? Now I see the wrist pronating. Oh, right has to come up to here. Remember what that would look like? Do it again. Remind yourself. Just take yourself. Just do this. There. More like that. Careful, careful that you don't just end up bending and holding your elbow. The elbow will want to come out a little to accommodate this. And then all this weight can collapse. Dick would say, I'll give you one word, Dick is. Dick would say, it's as if you're hanging a little what was it? What did you say? 6 pound weight? It's as if you're hanging a little weight. I'm gonna be careful. 6 pounds seems awfully heavy. It's as if there's a little weight hanging from your elbow, so that when you come up, there would be this little weight hanging. Now imagine all this weight. Imagine if it was 6 pounds, and you released this assemblage, you'd have an extra 6 pounds, and it would just fall. But if you don't get your elbow from leading via the wrist into position, why have a 6 pound weight there at all? Now you're just here. You may as well just do this. There, see? The weight of your arm is involved, isn't it? Right, so we want to get into that position where we release. There's a feeling of a position where we have something to let go of. All that weight to let go of so that it will assist us getting that stick to head towards the surface with some power. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, so let me see you play it one more time. Notice the other cool thing you're doing right now? See, when you get that motion, what it promotes is it promotes you playing from parallel on your upstroke.
It's very true.
And so your upstroke looks really good right now. You weren't even thinking about that. You were playing from parallel. Right there. Right there. Okay. All right. So that's what I want you to work on. We might have you bring the tempo up a little bit from there.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to be honest with yourself. This is why having that mirror is so helpful, you know? So that, or you can just put your video camera on. That's another way to do it, you know? Or you video, depending how nerdy you want to get, you videotape yourself and you watch it back. And you look at it and you go, do I see what I know I should be looking for? Am I really getting this? You can do it. There's no doubt now that you can do it. You know this. Now it's a matter of reminding yourself and building in the muscle memory. Okay? Good. Turn the camera off.